Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. I'm so blessed and honored to have everybody joining us. I'm Tiuna, and my good friend, Dr. Michael.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Gross. Thanks for joining us. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about this evening.
Just a real quick intro. Dr. Michael Gross has been my spiritual mentor for oh my gosh, Michael, 6 years, and he has truly, truly, truly transformed me and my life. And we have so much to share with you, but we keep our talks down to only 30 minutes, roughly. Michael channels information from the true source. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let Michael do his channeling. And then at the end, everybody will have an opportunity to have him answer your questions. So, put your questions in the comments and we'll make sure we address them at the end. I'll also put his contact information in the comments so that you can all get together with Michael later. So
Perfect.
on that note, Michael, our topic tonight is behind the veil, and I will turn the whole thing over to you.
Thank you. Give me a moment, everybody, to shut off my phone. There we go. Nothing like a phone ringing when you're doing something. Oh,
Right.
thank you so much. This is kind of part two, Beyond the Veil. And I thought I'd talk about something this evening that's so important, something we take for granted, something we don't realize or very seldom think about. And what I'd like all of you to think about is you are a miracle. Just think about it. So, how are you a miracle? Well, as we know, you have a zygote or sperm, you have an egg, the sperm, they say thousands of sperm go to the egg, and usually one makes its way into the egg, and it begins to multiply, produce more cells. As it produces more cells, there's a big energy that forms. We'll call it a ball of energy for just to make it easy. And then all of a sudden it begins to develop lungs, spleen, pancreas, and so on and so forth, the liver, and whatever sex it's going to be. It just does this. This is a miracle. It knows how to do that. It knows that it's going to be with that egg and it's going to be fertilizing the egg and creating a little being. I mean, that's a miracle. It's so wonderful. Just think about that. So that tells you there's some kind of intelligence. That's what you need to understand. There's an intelligence that when it mates with the egg, with the female and the male, something happens. Well, let's stretch that a little bit further. And as the fetus begins to develop and form into male or female or whatever it's going to be, there's an exchange of cells with mom. And there's an immune system that gets kicked up, increased between the fetus and the mother to protect the mother and to protect the fetus. And then these cells are exchanging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And what happens is some of those cells remain with the mother, sometimes a lifetime, sometimes almost a lifetime, whatever the choice may be. And a lot of it goes to the brain. And that's why a mother has an intuitive connection to the child because that child is part of her. Now, as we know with our DNA and chromosomes and so on, it's part of the father as well. But there's a certain energy and vibration that the mother has as the host that's just a little bit powerful, a little bit more stronger than the father. And that's a miracle unto itself. But think about that. So now here, this beautiful soul enters into the fetus either before or during birth or after birth. But sometimes it hops in and out, just checking. I want to see what my new roommate is like, how this building is. Are they serving vodka, stirred, not shaken? Or am I just hearing the ambiotic fluid floating around and listening to the water bubbling around me and feeling relaxed in this warm, beautiful atmosphere? And that's, except for the vodka, that's really what's happening. So just what a beautiful miracle it is. And then the oxytocin, where the mother's pelvic area and the bones turn to like jelly, as I call, and they just expand, and out comes this beautiful little entity called a child. What a miracle it is. We don't think about that. The reason I chose to discuss it this evening is to saying you're a miracle. It means there's some kind of intelligence. And then this intelligence is in your cellular body. Now, within your cellular body, did you know, microcosm, there is a outline or an architectural outline, the whole universe that's in each individual cell. It's got a sort of self-contained, knows exactly what it's going to do or supposed to do, and will perform magnificently and perfectly if we leave it alone and let it do what it needs to do. So you say, well, what do I do? Well, perhaps you eat too much, you drink too much, you strain your body too much, you get too angry. All these things happen. And then if you look at the helix with your chromosomes and DNA, when you're angry, it actually gets tighter. And when you relax, it expands and it lights up an energy. And this energy it lights up, one word, love. That's what it is. So we call it love. And I often talk, nothing negative can live in the energy of love. It's impossible. Well, how do I know? Give you a sample. Think of something that really ticks you off, angry. Get it really in your mind. And then think, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Repeat it, and you'll notice. Just imagine that pink energy of love coming in. And little by little, the anger will be suppressed and then it'll be disappear. May take you 20 minutes, a half an hour, may make you 2 minutes. But very often, I used to do with my students, I would say, when someone's upset or angry, just ask them to send, or ask the true source to send unconditional love mentally. So I'd have them get up, face each other, and I have one curse and scream and yell at them. And they found it a little hard to do, but they did it. And the other person said, I asked the true source to send you unconditional love mentally. And after a few minutes, they couldn't scream or yell anymore. They just calmed down. I said, now when you go to work, there's always somebody that's got to stir the pot, and you're going to run into them. And when they start this stuff, and maybe not as severe as what you experienced, and they come back and say, I did it to them because you had us do it, and reverse roles when we did it. And I noticed right in the middle when they're angry with me, they stop and walk away. And then like 2 or 3 days later, they come over and apologize, or maybe a little sooner. Now, I tell you all this because you're a miracle, but that miracle depends upon you leaving your body alone, or how about enhancing it? How about making it more beautiful, more powerful? There is a way that you can stop the aging process or slow it down. Pretty incredible, by energy. There is a way you can heal yourself. So stop for a minute and think. Everything is a frequency, energy, and vibration, right? How do you tune in to the right frequency and vibration and energy? Well, think love. I feel pretty good. Think of something joyous. Yeah. Think of something you had for dinner, or you met a friend, or you went golfing, or you did something great. You hit a great ball or something. You feel really good and light. Then you sit there and think about, oh, this is not working. That's not working. I got to go to work. Is my car got enough gas? Is it going to break down? Yada, yada, yada. And you think, as I say, lower than a pregnant snake, which is pretty gosh darn low. Okay. So think about that. That's how powerful you are. You design your body. And by that, I mean the DNA and so on from your ancestors and mother and father has a similar body. But from that point on, you are the designer. And look in the body. Is it big? Is it small? Is it got a little excess on it or not? And you got some aches and pains. You got some, let's say, diabetes or whatever. Everything that is created in your body, you are responsible for. So therefore, if there's something, let's say, that isn't working well within your body, guess what? You created it. Well, how can I uncreate it? And we call about reverse engineering. Now, there's something really interesting. And what is interesting is that when you seek an energy, frequency, and vibration through joy, happiness, heal your body, help you digest food if you're in pain, or even if you have a malady or something's wrong with your body, you created it for a reason. And the reason is that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. So at 35 years old, I had 3 disintegrating discs. Yippee. And a friend of mine got to see Dr. Nicholas Zervis, who was in Newsweek magazine, the doctor that heals all. So I go in to see him, and he said, "Look, you're 35 years old. You got 3 disintegrating discs." I know how I did that. And he said, "You're too young to have an operation, to fuse it together." And, we're talking, around the days of Abraham Lincoln when I was 35. And he said, we're going to get you a little physical therapy. You got to learn to live in pain. Well, my physical therapist had what they call the 10 system, which is like a little size cigarette case, so to speak, with batteries, wires with a rubber disc, and it would shoot electric shock into your body. So what happened when the pain, my muscles go into tense up, tighten up, and I'd be in excruciating pain. So I was really great. I figured out how to crawl from the bed to the refrigerator and back while I was flat on my back. Of course, I wore out the rug from crawling all the time and had to be replaced. But, finally, little by little, because of the 10 system, I was able to function. And then I began to learn more about spirituality and healing. Well, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years later, all of a sudden I noticed that I was picking up 200-pound bales of hay because I lived on a farm, unloading several tons of grain, no problem with my back. It's like, wow, this stuff really works. Because I talked to my body, I asked for healing, and I forgave my body for abuse and letting me abuse it, and asked your body to forgive me, and ask for the right frequency and energy and vibration to heal. You don't have to know what it is. Just ask for it. Well, then I'm up on the farm and I'm cutting down all kinds of brush, and I get a rotator cuff pull. So it's like, oh, pain. So my wife said, well, why don't you find what it is? Okay, go to the doctor. Pull the rotator cuff. You got to take some PT. Well, after 3 days, wait a minute, I'm a healer. I'm still a novice, but I'm a healer. So I sat down, and 3.5, 4 days later, it was healed. Asked for healing, right vibration, frequency, and energy. Told the shoulder I loved it, etc. Real simple. Well, then 6 months later, I do the same thing. Actually, 24 hours later, totally, completely healed. What I'm saying to all of you is that we have an intelligence because we're a miracle. That's beyond the veil. That we're responsible for our body. We recreate our body. I think it's every 90 days or more, new cells are reproduced. But here's what happens. When you look at the aging process and you're reproducing cells all the time, if there's one cell that's not quite 100% and it produces another cell that's not quite 100%, and it's keeps going on, that you begin to age. You can slow down, you can speed up the aging process, and you can really turn around and stop it. Here in the Northwest, you may have heard we had a lot of flooding. And so I'm working on right now, walking between the raindrops. Got to get a little bit thinner. So I'm still working on that one. But just a little humor here. The important thing is that if you look beyond the veil, and you know what I say, you are unlimited. And that's what's so important for you to know. So how do we know this is going to work? Well, the normal person, well, I tried 5 minutes ago, it doesn't work. Or I tried for a day or two and it doesn't work. Well, what were you thinking? Well, I was hoping it didn't work, didn't impede what I was doing. And I was hoping it would work, but probably won't. And I said, okay, did you say you probably won't? No, I just hoping. And let me explain what you manifested. You're manifesting the hoping, wishing, wanting, not the final outcome. Final outcome is I am now healed. I am now whatever. Now, always in the now. So everything you do is a manifestation. If I sit there and say, think I'm going to have a hamburger, and then I go out and find a place that has a hamburger. Well, I manifested going to have a hamburger. Or I go, I think I'm going to have a hamburger. Oh, wait a minute. There's a place that's got wonderful pizza. I think I'm going to have a pizza instead. And the pizza's good. So what happened? I just controlled the outcome. I said one thing, changed my mind, and did another thing. And it's just That way, sometimes when I buy a new car, not often, I'm going to get this car, I end up going to somewhere else and getting another car, another brand, which turns out to be good. So, what you desire to do is ask that your life is now perfect. That's a big word, perfect. What does perfect really mean? It means everything you desire and what your soul desires. And your soul will counter demand or override the ego, because the only friend you have in your body is is your ego? No, it's your soul. Your soul came here for a purpose. Your ego is just something that likes to have fun, party, so on and so forth, but when you birth out is no longer with you. So think about this. Now you have friends, family, relatives, and so on. To you is a very dear friend, and that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But the most important thing, the biggest friend you have, is your body, because you see, without your body, and if you're incapacitated, you can't participate in life. And it's so interesting because when I talk about beyond the veil or behind the veil, I was reading a quote from Steve Jobs when he birthed out of his body. And it was quoted, wow, wow, wow. And then he just birthed out. Tells you there's a little something we may be missing. And remember, you are the master of your body. You need to understand that. So, as the true source said, are you a prisoner of your fears or master of your life? Think about that. So, how do we switch gears? How do we change our feelings? Well, most importantly, as I say, you're unlimited. I'm just checking the time, and you're unlimited. When I grew up, my mother said, Michael, you can do anything. Michael, you can do anything. Well, just realized 3 years ago, oh my gosh, all the things I've done in my life, didn't know anything about. I can do this. And I realized my mother gave me the greatest gift, and that is you can do anything. And, I was just visiting my son and we were talking about it. And he says the same thing to his children. You can do anything. You can do anything. Well, if you can do anything, what does it mean? There are no limitations, except that the ego says you can't do this or whatever. And sometimes, well, if you say to me, I'd like to be a doctor right now, well, you don't have any limitations. You can go to med school and learn to be a doctor. Or you can be a naturopath, or you can be a shaman, or any other kind of natural or herbal healer. You can do any of those things. What I'm advocating for you is that within you is an intelligence that's tied to the universe. You are part of the true source. You have the figurative DNA of the true source. Your cellular structure has an intelligence, like I told you, how the fetus is formed, how, like, for example, you get a cut in your finger, you got a leak in your skin. You never looked at it that way. Till recently, I never looked at it that way. But yeah, I have a leak in my skin. And what happens? The immune system cuts in. We got to make sure there are no infections. Then right after that, the blood coagulates, turns to thick, thick concrete, and plugs the hole. And all of a sudden, the cells begin to grow back in your finger where the cut is, and the scab drops off. Well, how much did you do to make it happen? Nothing. You took it for granted. You got out of your way and let it happen. Sometimes I was on a talk show with Edgar Casey's son, because Edgar Casey had birthed out. But I was on a talk show with one of his sons who didn't really follow in his father's path, but he believed in what his father talked about. And that his father would talk about there are times where you can use natural healing, and there are times you have to use allopathic doctors. But even that, the day is coming shortly. We won't need allopathic doctors. You see, if you can create a body, a fetus in a body, then if you have a torn muscle or a ligament, or let's say you have a diseased part of your body, you can heal it and regenerate it. And you go, well, Michael, I don't believe this. Well, you have every right to say it. But there are, like a salamander will lose its tail and grow a new tail. Well, how come that salamander do it? And on the scale, we're more advanced. You lose a fingernail, what happens? A new fingernail grows back. When you're a child, you get a first set of teeth. Then you lose them and you get another set of teeth. And I know people that have got 3 sets of teeth. Rare, but they've done it. See how intelligent your body is? So, who is the main general commander of the body? Your thoughts. Who is the main impediment to your body? Your thoughts, your belief system. So, what do? You now time to change your belief system. And by simply looking in the mirror every night, say, Michael, Jane, whatever, you are unlimited 3 times. What really happens? Well, the last thought you have, review anywhere from 60 to 100 times in your sleep. So for those who are doubting Thomases or whatever, back in the 50s, they went to England, a bunch of hypnotherapists, hooked them up to an electroencephalogram, with the wires, went into a graph, and they would hypnotize them of a thought, and the graph would jump in a certain pattern. Well, then they went to sleep and they reviewed the patterns on the graph. 60 to 120 times that thought came up. Well, subconsciously, when a thought comes up, the ego goes, nah. And that's the first 30 days. Then 31 through 60, maybe, 61 through 90, yes. It happens. But along the way, if you begin to doubt, well, I believe I'm going to be healed, but it's not here yet. Congratulations. You are right. You're that powerful. You blocked it. Well, no, I'm not. Yes, you are, because you created the doubt. And which you putting more energy into the doubt or to the final outcome? So, a message to you as I'm looking at the time is very simple. Know that there is an intelligence. Know that you are the general, the commander in chief, the king, the queen of your body. And know by your thoughts you are creating your body. And know that you have that ability to change, heal, attract negativity or positivity. So powerful. There's something I do with my students and people I coach, and I have them take a glass of tap water. Well, you can smell the chlorine. Phew. Then I have them do a certain energy where it takes 3 minutes. I said, well, drink the water now. It's wetter, it's lighter. I can't smell or taste the chlorine. That's how powerful you are. Your thoughts create a vibration and energy, a frequency, which clear the water. You can do it with your body. You can do it with food. You can do it with anything. So I thought I'd tease you and say, well, we'll get into this another time, but I want to thank all of you for joining me. And I want to thank all of you for being here. And I want to thank all of you because you are the solution and you're making a difference on this planet. I'm going to tell you, the next 3 years, put on your seatbelt. I'll let you think about that thought. Anyway, what I'd like to share with all of you is that every Tuesday evening from 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 Pacific time, it is called Soul Awakening. It's on freeconferencecall.com, and all you have to do is pick up the phone, dial in, and ask any question. Maybe you know the answers or you've forgotten about it, or maybe there's something new I could share with you. Do you share how they can get a hold of us and be part of the Soul Awakening?
Absolutely. And just a sidebar here. I was in part of that water experiment, and oh my goodness, I tasted the chlorine, and then later, it tasted like fresh mountain water coming right down from the glaciers. It was so delightful. So yes, everything that Michael shares with you is so spot on. It's like he said, we're the ones that block it, but there is so much value in what he shares with you. So Tuesday night, you have the opportunity to call him, ask him your own questions at this number. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound.
One more time. 202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. I have fun with that. Also, using that same telephone number, The second Saturday of every month is a pet project of mine. We do mass consciousness healing, and it starts at 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 a.m. Pacific time. So the first 5-6 minutes, we chat. Where are you from? We chat a little bit. Then the miracle happens. You become a conduit of the true source's unconditional love, and then it goes through your body. Just think what this is going to do for you. Love. Nothing negative can live in the energy of love. And then you become like a lotus flower, opening up and covering this whole planet with the true sources of unconditional love. Your animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom. Mother Earth is a living, breathing entity. The nature spirits, the angels, guides, they're all there to support us, to help us make this difference. And we remain silent. And then about 3 minutes before 11:01, and when I can, play some music. Thank you all. And then we're done. And you'll be amazed what happens afterwards and for the month to come. To you, share that information one more time.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful experience. Dial in the same number, 202-926-1059, and the code, Michael?
125446 #. Now, during the Tuesday evening, I leave a 10-minute message. And there's, I think, 409 of them now. And it starts with number 3. And there's a reason why I did that, to 409. Now, none of them are indexed. And when I forgot to do it, it must have been about 220, 230. I said, oh, I messed up. I forgot to do it. No, Michael, you didn't. You want to read 409 different indexes? I don't have time. Tell them to trust their soul. So they may ask for number 3, number 92, number 273. People call back, just what I needed to hear, Michael. Thank you so much. And if you're stuck in traffic, you're angry with your spouse or your children, or where you're at work, or there's stress, just play. It's 10 minutes long. A couple of them are a little bit longer, not much, but it will change your day because this channeling comes directly from the true source. It's a high vibration, frequency, and energy. Do you tell them how they can access this?
Those recordings can be accessed at 434-300-4170, and the access code, Michael?
125446 #. One more time, please.
Absolutely. 434-300-4170, and the code, Michael?
125446 #. Take advantage of this. What's your investment? 10 minutes. If you can't find 10 minutes to bring joy and happiness in your life, find time. It'll be beautiful, because it's like giving yourself $1 trillion gift to enlighten you. See, every word has a frequency and energy and vibration, which your body responds to. So please, it's the highest vibrations that come through. Also, I'd like to offer to all of you a complimentary session, 20 minutes to half an hour, and Tia is going to leave you the information. But I would like to tell you, I'm known as old school. Okay, people try to text me. You can. I might not get to you for a day or two, or I might get it at 2:00 in the morning because I work weird hours. You don't want me to wake you. So please call me. I'll leave you a message. I'll call you back. Then leave me a text message. Say where you are, your telephone number, and of course, you want to tell me what area code you're in or what part of the country you live in. Like Dubai, I have clients there that are 9 and 10 or 12 hours difference. Korea is different a time, so on and so forth. So please do that and be patient. I'll get back to you. We'll talk about whatever you desire. I'm not going to sell you anything. I always end up, thank you. If I can be any assistance or help you, let me know. That's it. More important about you finding empowerment, love, and joy in your life. And that's one thing that I do. Also, if you go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, initial B for brilliant boy, I can come up with some other negative things. So, if you do that, and what will happen is that it'll list a lot of the things that Tio and I have done on YouTube. And also in the earlier days, there was an audio message with award-winning photography done by Tu Nap, a little motivational message, and I talk about it. So you can also listen to those. And that is very key and important. So before we continue, Tia, do you have any comments?
We have beautiful comments, lots of hearts. Uh, no questions today, but let me check in one spot because
Sure.
uh, yeah, no more questions right now, but a lot of people are popping in and sending you hearts.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
and I wanted, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for doing that. In
So the next thing is,
ways, my life and at our internet.
I interrupted you.
That's okay. My internet started going funny. Go ahead, Michael.
All right. So this is a beautiful book called Healing the Souls, Healing the Holes in Your Souls. It's a beautiful book about a woman, she calls from going from gutter to grace, literally did, like the phoenix was reborn. It's all about a beautiful story of survival, of learning self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. It's a story about finding your true path. And this is a must read. You'll understand more about how strong and brave this woman, T.U. Knapp, is. Besides, I like the guy that wrote the forward. Anyway, I recommend this wholeheartedly.
My turn. The guy who wrote the foreword in that book happens to also be the same guy who wrote this book, and my amazing spiritual mentor. I can never, ever, ever thank him enough for the beautiful impact that he's put into my life. He wrote this book, and because of him, his work, his knowledge in the book, that's why there's a book that he's holding. Otherwise, that book would not have been written. So I highly encourage all of you, if you've never taken an opportunity to do the complimentary consultation that Michael offers, definitely call him. It's in the contact information. It's all the contact information is in the comments. But truly, 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 this book in my world is priceless, truly priceless. So if you have anyone that's struggling in life, encourage them or get this as a gift for him, for them, him, whoever, because this is such a powerful book with golden nuggets that will change lives. It's priceless in my world. And Michael, why don't you let them know how they can get it?
Yes, I want to share that with all of you. As you know, some of you, uh, Amazon ran out of it. Someone had a used book for sale for $500. You can buy that,
Priceless,
or
I told you.
I'll give you a new book for $29.95, including shipping and handling. It's not that catch. Well, it's $29.95 and $400 for shipping and handling. We don't do that, but there will be a personal inscription. And when Spirit says to put more books on Amazon, I shall. But at this point, you can get this book, and Tia's giving that information. And when I get it, I will mail it out to you, and or you can call me. I don't take PayPal, but I take Venmo, I take credit cards, and some other system. So there's a way you can do this, or you can send me a check. It's a beautiful book.
Basically, Michael.
I'm sorry, it's a beautiful book. It talks about so many important things. And if you want to know more about me, you can go to drmichaelgross.com. It's a beautiful website. And the website designer, we're looking at it. So thank you to you.
Thank you. Michael, everybody definitely save the contact information for Michael. I also put mine at the bottom. But here's the thing. If you want to learn more, Dr. Michael B. Gross at YouTube. I highly encourage it. We've got probably close to 5 years worth of videos there. 4 or 5 years. I forget. But the bottom line is that there are so many powerful messages in there, so many golden nuggets. Steer your friends and family, if they're struggling with anything, over to that YouTube site. Subscribe and learn more. They can watch these videos. We don't delete anything. Everything stays there. And it's not scripted. It's just what it is. We speak from our heart and soul. Both of us do. Michael channels powerful messages, and the gifts that we give are the ones that we can. What Michael gives us is something that's evergreen. It will keep blessing us in our lives. We learn and we grow from what we hear. So keep staying in the loop. Learn more about what Michael offers, because it's absolutely, truly phenomenal. And when you have your soul awakened, like he woke up mine, that is a powerful message to carry with you always. And I just want to thank you, Michael, because you woke up my soul that day, 6 years
you very
ago.
much. Gio, tell
And
them how they get your book.
oh, my book is easy. Email me. It's also on Amazon, but if you email me, I'll sign a copy for you. I'd be happy to do that for you. And just contact us. We'll definitely get you connected. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great week. Don't forget, second Saturday of every month, Tuesday evenings. And next Thursday, we'll be with you again. Everyone, have a wonderful week. Remember, you are unlimited. Namaste.
Namaste.
We love
We
you.
love you.